Hi, in this video, I will be explaining what negative transfer is and how it relates to motor skill learning situations. So to start, what is negative transfer? Well, negative transfer happens when a previous experienced skill requires a different response within a different environment. In simpler terms, this means that learning one skill in one environment makes it harder to learn a new, similar skill in a different environment. In this situation, your brain gets confused and tries to use the old way you learned in the previous environment to the new similar way in the new environment, which doesn't work well. An example of this is previously learning to drive a gear shift on the left side and then switching to a car with a gear shift on the right side. In this switch of environment, your brain will keep reaching to the left at first before learning that the gear shift is now on the right side. Your old habit is getting in the way of learning in a new one in this situation. So negative transfer also involves a change in spatial locations of movement and a change in the timing structure of movement. An example of a change in spatial location of movement is learning to type on a standard keyboard and then switching to a keyboard with a different key placement. You may struggle to learn the new placement of keys, and as an example of this change in timing structure of movement is a baseball player switching to slow pitch softball. Switching from a fast pitch in baseball to a slow pitch in softball can interfere with the new timing required for a softball, which can cause the poor performance at first. And that is my mini lecture on negative transfer. And then in this next part of my mini lecture, I will be explaining the influence of beginners observing other beginners as they practice a new skill. It is common belief that a beginner observing a skilled demonstrator is more reliable than a beginner observing another beginner, but that is not always the case. A beginner observing another beginner can be beneficial in that the observing beginner can learn from the demonstrating beginner's mistakes to determine the most effective movements to achieve the new skill they're practicing. Another positive of beginners observing other beginners is that they may feel less intimidated and more motivated to do the skill when they see another beginner like themselves also learning and improving in the skill. It can create confidence in the observer by seeing others learn and progress, and can influence the observer to keep trying at the new skill, knowing that improvement and success is possible by observing the other beginner in this situation. And that is my mini lecture. Thank you.